What thing was ruined by rich people? Quinoa, another superfood du jour that rich people just kind of glomp onto for a few years and then drop. Quinoa used to be the staple crop of poor farmers in Bolivia and Peru. The sudden spike in demand made it extremely profitable to cultivate quinoa for export instead, replacing the farmer's own diet with imported rice, wheat and corn from China, Russia and the US, respectively. As a result, a huge part of the local culinary culture is getting displaced because nobody in those countries can afford to eat their own traditional crop. Gestures vaguely at everything. We should have capped wages at a set amount and 100 taxed the rest worldwide. We wouldn't have half the social problems that we do now if wealth was distributed a bit evenly. Unfortunately TPTB love watching the working class suffer. Looking forward to the day that society collectively does the math and realizes that we can simply take it all back in one big nasty event and then none of our children or grandchildren have to suffer what we have suffered again. Life. For everyone non-rich. You work 40 hours a week, get expected to answer your phones and email on the weekend and never take vacation. To make the money. So yeah. Literally every aspect of life in our society has been molded by them to serve their interests at our expense. There's literally no such thing as anything that hasn't been ruined by them. Video games, fishing or boating, canoes, rafts, etc. streams and small rivers. Rich people buy the property it goes through and then keep people out. There are rules about navigable or not navigable, walking below the mean high water mark, etc. that negates a lot of their assertion, but their aggression, right or wrong, has ruined the experience. Caviar and crab used to be only for the poor and prisoners. But one day some Pomposity went like damn this fire. And someone overheard and next thing we know it's a $100 for a underdeveloped fish and a long lobster. Edit somehow got crab and lobster confused. Realized this after a helpful comment and quick Google. Mount Everest. Climbing it went from a testament to the climber's valiant efforts to scale up the giant mountain with a high risk of death to a fucking tourist site that anyone with money to throw away can climb with ease with guides carrying them up and down. Not to mention the amount of trash they leave. Airbnb used to be a great way to find cheap accommodations, and still is in some countries. Now, particularly in the US, it's for bougie groups of friends to rent overpriced vacation properties from rich people, or speculators who are taking properties off the market to try and get rich quick or both. Tipping culture. How can a big corporation not pay their employees enough to make a living? Then they guilt trip the customers to pay basically their wages for them. Multi-million-dollar company expecting an average person to pay their employees just so they don't have to pay their employees as much. Man face palming. Food. Any kind of meat that used to be trash, poor people figured out how to make it taste good and rich people glommed on, driving the price up. Ribs, tilapia, tri-tip, pork butt, lobster, and that's why we can have anything nice. Everything people without money enjoy. If they see people enjoying something they either commodified it, or turned it into an ironic cosplay of lower class behavior to convince themselves they're not out of touch sociopaths. Getting tickets to the Super Bowl. Tickets are so goddamn expensive that only rich people can afford them now. The best playoff game an average income football person can afford is an NFC or AFC championship game. Van life or camping out of your truck. Used to be a fun way to get out into the outdoors on a budget, but now influencers with their 100k souped up sprinters make it kinda lose what was cool about it. Space. Once you realize that you don't need to be a scientist to be an astronaut and you can just buy a multi-million-dollar ticket, those childhood dreams suddenly have a vastly different color. Diabetes medication. There's a shortage in the UK because people with money are buying it for weight loss. My diabetic father-in-law can't get a prescription for Victoza due to that shortage. Food. The rich couldn't eat a normal meal if you held a gun to their head. Coolest locations, most talented chefs, but the meals are always with weird extra stuff nobody actually likes. My nan told me they used to go down to the shore and pull in their homemade lobster traps, and cook them right on the beach. Now they are protected commodity. Everything: housing, healthcare, automobile prices, you name it. When somebody else can afford to pay more than you, the price is going to keep going up. Pickup trucks. Sit idiots buy them to show off, never haul with them. Never need the four-wheel drive cause all the roads are always cleared. In USA, people buying up dozens or hundreds of houses has caused average wage people to not be able to afford to buy a home anymore. Thrifting. A lot of rack or bigger thrift shops have normal looking clothes for normal prices. It defeats the entire point. Crying face. Space flight. It went from being an ultimate dream, uniting humanity, to a dick measuring contest among pathetic billionaires. Farmers markets. I remember going to those years back and everything being affordable due to it cutting out the middleman. Pickup trucks. They don't even make trucks for working men anymore. They're all family trucksters designed for Costco runs. Rich people buying up average houses to then rent out, which causes homeowners who would buy those houses to have to rent. The environment homes with 15 bathrooms, private jets, acres of land just for decoration, several cars as collectibles. Nerd hobbies? Apparently even comic books got so expensive because rich people started to think them as investments. The economy. It was never really designed to run with such a massive divide between the top one and the rest of us. Buying a house. From personal experience of trying to finally buy a home. Rich people buy all the houses to rent. Wages. And because they control a vast section of the media, they make people believe it's the immigrants' fault. Pickup trucks. They're so expensive now that people who need them for work can't afford them. Thrift stores with actual nice clothes. Now rich people go there just to hunt for resale. House ownership. Apparently only rich people can have them now and rent them for profit. Tiny homes van life. They literally gentrified living in a shelter, being homeless. Earth. No poor person has ever caused an oil spill or raised a whole forest. Housing. Rent. Van life, I hate that term, as an actual vehicle dweller. Formerly pleasant small towns near any body of water or skiable mountain. The price of housing. Either renting or owning, it's insane. Worldwide. Coachella Festival. Concert tickets. Sports seating. VIP seats. Food. Who the fuck wants caviar and gold on their pizza?